Hey guys, John Rettinger here, and I want to give you a comparison of the Palm Pre and what I consider to be its biggest competitor, the iPhone 3G. So let's get started, and let's begin with unlocking the device. To unlock the Palm Pre, you push the power button on the top right corner, and you're greeted with a little yellow lock icon that you put your finger on, and you drag right out. To unlock the iPhone 3G, you can either push the power button on the top or the menu button in the middle, and you simply slide to unlock. It should be mostly familiar for a lot of people. So the first thing I want to compare is the launcher. How do you launch applications from the Pre and the iPhone 3G? Well, the Pre does it pretty interestingly, and let me show you. You can use these four icons across the bottom. The first one will launch your dialing menu, which I'll show you in a moment. Second one launches calendar. Third is mail. Fourth is calendar. And the last one is the launcher. So these are hard set, you can't change them. But if you want to get to more menu items, you push that last menu, which opens up the launcher, and you can scroll back and forth, and these can all be selected and rearranged anywhere that you like. But if you're already in an application and you want to select a quick launcher, you can take advantage of this gesture area at the bottom, which I'll show you again. Slide your finger up, and you get this little wave where you can get access to those four launcher buttons, or the 5 launcher buttons that we talked about just a minute ago. Select one and you are off. So I selected contacts right here. So go ahead and throw that away, and I'll show you what I did there in just a minute. To select icons on the iPhone 3G, it's relatively similar, except you are stuck with a static array. You can arrange these icons any way you want by selecting and moving them around. You have the ability to customize what comes up in that bottom. You can show up to 4 icons. And that's relatively it. There is not a gesture area on the bottom. The navigation is done really through these 4 icons on the bottom and the icon array above. So next thing is, let's talk about multitasking. And multitasking on the iPhone is relatively non-existent. If I am, say, in my browser and I want to view my contacts, I have to hit the menu button, exit out, and then hit my contacts. And I can go ahead and scroll through. If, for instance, let's say I'm in the browser on the Pre, and I'm looking at a website, and I suddenly want to view a contact, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can pull up that launcher, go to Contacts, and you can view your contacts. I don't have any in here quite yet. Or, let's go back. Let's get rid of that, and let's say I'm in my browser again, and I want to open up contacts. I can push this menu button in the middle, and that opens up what's called the card view, and this is how it handles multitasking. I can go ahead and open contacts, and it opens the contacts menu up. Now what I just showed you is what Palm is calling cards, and it's the way they handle multitasking, and actually is very impressive. So let me show you again what that is. You hit the menu button, and you get this card array, and you can open up really, Palm says 12 is the max I can handle, but I've actually gone a little bit further. So let's open Calendar. We'll hit Done, asking if I want to import a calendar from Google, Facebook, or Exchange. And now I've got calendars open. Let's say I want to open up email. I haven't set up any email accounts on here yet. But here I am in email, and I can flip right back nice and easy between all these cards, and the cards can be rearranged. If you select them, you can move them anywhere that you like. And when you want to get rid of one, go back to Card View, and you swipe it off the screen, and that actually closes the application. It's very elegant. You have a little animation noise, and I know this sounds silly, but it is kind of fun to do. So that is how the Palm Pre handles multitasking. The next thing I want to show you is scrolling. Both phones boast multi-touch, which means you can use 2 fingers to manipulate the screen, image, or otherwise. So let me show you what scrolling looks like on here. And I will do that using the browser. So I'll launch the browser again. We'll just pick a random website. We'll go to Palm's website. And on the iPhone, we'll launch, I've got Pocket Now up here. So scrolling is very smooth, and it's flick scrolling. So as I go, it keeps scrolling. It uses a physics engine to determine how fast or how slow I'm flicking scrolling. Now the Pre is relatively similar. This page is optimized for this particular screen size, but you can see scrolling is very smooth, and it uses a very similar physics engine to see when I get to the top and bottom. If I'm just going slowly, it balances slowly. If I go fast, it goes fast as well. I'd say it's about a draw here on the scrolling. If you ever use an iPhone, you know how smooth it is. And take my word for it, it is just as smooth as the Palm Pre, and equally as impressive actually. So next thing I want to talk about is keyboards. And before I get into keyboards, let me preface this by saying I am running beta software 3.0 on the iPhone. So I do have a landscape keyboard, which I will show you what that looks like and also show you the portrait keyboard to get a really fair comparison. So let's go into messaging. We'll close out of that. And go to your messaging application, hit the launcher, and you hit messaging. I want to create a new text. Enter message here. And the Pre uses an actual tactile QWERTY keyboard. You can see what that looks like. It is a sort of cramped keyboard. It's got a sticky feel to it. There's a decent amount of push on the keyboard, so you do know you're pushing a button. And the buttons are relatively small, and there's not that much depth to them, if you can see. So I'm going to type a sample message here using the full QWERTY keyboard. I'll type, "Hi, my name is John." And I should say that the Pre just came out today, so I'm in no way used to the keyboard. So take this as a relatively good comparison of how you'll do when you first get your Pre. And I have pretty normal to big size hands. So I will type that out here. Notice actually I typed it out with a decent amount of accuracy, actually complete accuracy. "Hi, my name is John," with no errors. So that was actually relatively nice. Let's try the same thing on the iPhone. We'll go to text messages again. I'm going to pull this off so all my contacts and their recent texts don't show up. And we'll open up a new message. And I will type, "Hi, my name is John," using the landscape or the portrait keyboard on the iPhone. So actually I had a couple errors in there. I even went through and corrected one. It was, "Hi, my name is John." You can see that this does have autocorrect. But since I am running the version 3.0, I have a landscape keyboard, which is certainly fair to compare since most future iPhones coming out will take advantage of this landscape keyboard. So let's go ahead and try that again. And you can see I typed that with much more accuracy and completely correct as well. Landscape is certainly much easier to type with. The final verdict is the Pre's keyboard is a little bit cramped, but you certainly get used to it very quickly, as you can see right here typing a simple sentence. I can see myself over the coming days and weeks really enjoying the keyboard on the Pre. I do like having a physical keyboard over a non-physical on-screen keyboard like the iPhone. So I think if you have to compare keyboards, the Pre definitely wins for having a full QWERTY board. So the next thing I want to show you is screen rotation. Both devices have a built-in accelerometer. So we will use the web browser for that. We'll go back, swipe that away, go to launcher, open up the web browser. Probably should have just kept it open. So we will launch ESPN. See if it pulls up a mobile version of ESPN, which it will. I'll close this up. So let's check screen rotation. You can see it's actually very quick. And let's try the same thing on the iPhone 3G. Go to the browser. You can see that is pretty quick, but not as fast as the Pre. Let's try them both together. And get my hands around the camera. So we'll put this one up, put them both up. We'll try turning them at the same time. You can see the Pre definitely goes a little bit faster. Now this should also be prefaced with the Pre is brand new hardware and the iPhone 3G has been out for almost a year. So you would expect the Pre to be a little bit faster in that regard. So the next thing that I want to show you is the browser. And I did a full video detailing the browser differences and speeds, but I do want to give you just a little bit of an overview of the browser while this is open. This does take advantage of multi-touch, although this page, since it's optimized for mobile, does not have the animations and pictures that you'll see on other sites. But you can see that I can pinch and zoom using 2 fingers, which is very nice. And I can also zoom in or zoom out using a double tap method. And of course, the iPhone 3G was really one of the first mobile devices to bring multi-touch to the masses. And of course, does it extremely well. And I would probably call this a draw. The Palm implements multi-touch as well as Apple, which is extremely impressive. So let's go back to the home and let's talk about navigation. Navigation is relatively similar on each. They both use capacitive touchscreens and it relies mostly on your finger. So navigation, like I said, you use using the launcher. You can move around to launch your applications. Oh, I do wish there was a customization option. I just launched a calendar right there. Customization for these 5 menu items across the bottom. The iPhone is the same, 4 on the bottom, and you can customize really whatever you want. Navigation is really easy on both devices. So let's talk about physical specs. How do they look? Well, during the unboxing I gave you guys a size comparison. Let's go ahead and do that again. We'll stack them on top. You can see the Pre is significantly smaller in that aspect. But it is thicker due to the slide-out QWERTY keyboard, but not by much. The Pre really does feel nice and small in the hand. It really is impressive. Let's do a comparison next to a standard size credit card for both devices. Here's my Costco card. And you really can see and appreciate how small the Pre actually is. It's not much bigger than a standard credit card. And thickness-wise, it's really not that thick either. If you compare it to a device like the BlackBerry Curve 8900, considering it has a slide-out keyboard, it actually is very thin. It's certainly pocketable. As pocketable, I would say, as the iPhone. So guys, just wanted to give you a real quick overview and comparison of the Palm Pre and the iPhone 3G. Stick around to the channel. We're going to have a ton more videos coming up about the Palm Pre, really detailing everything. And for exclusive content or to ask questions about the Pre, be sure to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/John4Lakers. I'll put a link in the sidebar. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.